Alright, so active hearing protection earmuffs from 3M. Both of these are from 3M. The ones on the right, the red ones, these are the Procoms. They're made in China, they're $100. These ones are the protac XPI peltors. It's also 3M, but it's made in Sweden, it's $500. This is more intended for like prosumer applications, like semi-professional. This is like fully professional industrial quality. But is it really 5 times better? The answer is no. So what happened is, first I got these, expecting them to be better because of the price, because it's 5 times the price and because it's made in Sweden. And they are better in some ways, but it's not like it's not a no-brainer, you know. Then when I experienced some issues, namely there was some static in the ear, static sound in the ear, which I didn't think that, you know, 500, it's pretty loud. It's so loud that when I was listening to audiobooks, I could hear it through the audiobook, not like in between the chapters, but while the audiobook was talking, I could hear the static in the ear. And also the level of volume in both ears was not equal. Like I'm talking about, let's say, for situational awareness, when the microphones are pumping the sound into the ears, it wasn't equal in the two ears. So I felt like for $500 it should be better. So I decided to see how bad is the $100 Chinese version is. And actually, I kind of prefer the Chinese ones. I mean, they're both 3M. It's just one is made in Sweden, one is made in China. But I actually prefer the Chinese ones, and I'm gonna keep the Chinese ones, and I'm sending these back. But I don't just want to say like which one is better than which. I want to. Sorry, I'm fighting like bugs. They're eating me. I want you to get an idea of what the actual differences are. So, for example, the microphone. You can see the microphone on the protac is much better. It's better protected. This one was completely chewed up, even out of the box. Like it's just very flimsy. On the other, also, like this mechanism that holds the microphone is very tight on the protacs. Is very loose on this, and some of this you cannot adjust. Like you can adjust this screw, but you cannot adjust this. At least I don't think you can, and it's just so much more loose. So you can definitely feel in some aspects the like difference in quality. Also, like these sliders that adjust it up and down are very, very fucking good. In the protacs, they're very tight. They hold like grim death. These they're not as good, but like I also have, let's say, even cheaper earmuffs, and those are complete shit. Like they don't hold at all. So and they're all 3M. Like all of them are the same company, but it's like different price point. Like so the $30 ones, this mechanism is complete garbage. Like it's visibly different. It's not the same, and it's not smooth. It's not tight. It's trash. Like this is a step up, and this is again a step up. So like there's a difference. Also, like the ear pads, even though this is a gel, they're not more comfortable than this, because these have like an internal pocket inside for your ear. Probably can't see it, but there's like a space behind the pad for your ear to go to. These, like, they don't have that extra space, and the space for the ear is kind of tight, so it's not actually more comfortable, even though it's gel. Also, these have a little bit more noise attenuation in this. It's just more of a robust, like one-piece construction. You see, this is kind of like two-piece, plus there's also like the battery cover and shit. It's just not as solid, and as a result, it doesn't block the sound as much. But it's very, very similar. It's only by going back to back to back to back you can tell that these have a little bit more attenuation. If you were to wear them on different days, you would have no idea which one is better. But also, like this, I thought this would be a problem. I thought this would be hard. No, doesn't bother me. This is nice. It's padded, but there's no difference. Like you can't really feel the difference. The microphones, these are like have screens from the wind. I didn't actually test this outside. And these have the microphone that's like it's a little bit different, cheaper design, but you know they both work. The difference in sound is the protacs. They boost the sound that you hear from the outside way more, but it's less natural. It feels very boosted, but it is boosted much louder. if you need that. So like if you, let's say if you're gonna wear earplugs under the earmuff, you will want protacs. They're just they're gonna be able to better overcome the earplug. However, if you don't wear earplugs, this should be fine. Like the main difference between these two headphones is actually the design of the speaker. So like in this ones, it's the capsule is very small and it's designed to produce just the speech frequency. It's very high pitched, but it's very clear for the voice, and also like situational awareness. These have like this whole black chamber in the back. This is like for the bass of the speaker. These don't have that. So this chamber allows this to play music. It's not a very good music sound, but you know, it's at least it's able to play music. This can't play music at all. I mean, like you can't hear anything but like the voice. There's no bass at all, because this does not have a separate chamber for the bass, because this is designed for professional work use. It's not designed for you to listen to music. In fact, the streaming mode for the music is actually locked out by default. Well, not locked out, but it's not turned on. You have to go into menus. Like I read people have trouble like actually enabling it. I didn't have any trouble. You have to follow the menu, enable it, and then you have to unpair the phone and repair it back, and it works. You can listen to music, you can stream music to this, but it's gonna sound like shit. This is at least 2 or 3, probably 4 times better sounding than this. I mean, this is still shit compared to like even my Bose headphones, but it's much better than this one, because this is not intended for you to listen to music at all. You can stream it, but I never planned to listen to music on this. I was intending to listen to audiobooks on this, and I did, and it works for audiobooks. But when you listen to audiobooks, you hear this fucking static sound. Here you can actually listen to music. I don't, but when you listen to audiobooks, at least there is no static sound. Also, like the way to replace the batteries here is relatively simple, though less like waterproof. The way to replace the batteries here is you have to deal with the screw, and then it's extremely tight. Like that's the general theme of these headphones. Everything on them is very tight. This is both the good and the bad thing. Like this microphone was so tightly screwed in out of the box, I had to use pliers to unscrew it. And this was very loose. So like everything is loose on here, too loose, way too loose, and everything is way too tight on this one. So like when I was putting in the batteries, I almost like broke the contacts, because the manual is not like really great. You have to be really careful putting this in. Don't use force. Like you have to like wiggle it and finesse it until it like don't force it, like, and eventually when you can line the screw up, you're gonna tighten it, and using like this angle, you see here, there's like an angle, it's gonna pull this in and force it shut, and it's gonna be very tight and secure and basically waterproof, except for this hole in the bottom for water to leak out. So it's gonna be like waterproof on the top, and on the bottom the water is just gonna drain out. So that's actually one of the differences between these two, is that these have waterproofing. Like you see this, this is a waterproof seal. This one there is no waterproof seal, it just plugs in. So these are like more physically solid. They have higher attenuation, they have higher boost of the audio frequencies. The microphone is like less susceptible to damage, it's like more protected. It's waterproofed. You can clearly see these buttons, versus over here you have black buttons on black, black on black, can't see shit. Like here it's better to see. And also here you have plus and minus buttons, so you can raise volume and lower volume. On here you only have on this you don't have a plus and minus, you only have a cycle to button that cycles through 4 levels of ambient volume, but there's no plus and minus. This is obviously much better designed to have a plus and minus button. But overall, you know, the main advantage of this probably is the replacement parts. So you can get replacement parts for this, and it's designed for more like heavy duty use, for like 8 hours a day use, whereas this is like for more casual use. So you know, which one is better? I think if you like work in an airport and you're wearing this 8 hours a day, and you're probably gonna break them and get replacement parts and shit and so on, and you need to work in the rain and the wet, these are probably better. But if you're buying this for like home casual use, I thought that, you know, paying five times more will get me a better product, but not really. Like, for me, like, even if they were the same price, I would still pick these because there is no static sound in the ear and the music sounds better, and I don't need the waterproof, you know, shit. And the extra softness this doesn't bother me. Yes, this is very flimsy, but I'm gonna be careful, like I'm not gonna be beating it up, versus this is obviously more like rugged. And as for these, yes, these don't look rugged at all, but they're replaceable. They're replacement parts for these. So like this is the strength of this protac, is like you can get like this is a wear part, but you can literally buy like replacement foam piece for this cover. So, you know, I would say that they're both worth the money, and they're both doing what they're supposed to do, but they're kind of like meant for different applications. This is like more like industrial, water resistant and like replaceable part, like almost like military grade, and this is like more consumer grade. But I honestly don't think that like one is better than the other. It's just like what you need.